The number 5 thing we learned that Jiu Jitsu is not made to beat up multiple attackers, and neither is any other martial arts. Somebody in the audience was going, Mr. Gracie, you know, one of the biggest problems I have with Jiu Jitsu is that when you're in the street, you can't beat up 4 or 5 people because you're on the ground, and when you're on the ground rolling that guy, somebody else can be kicking you in the head and stuff. And Mr. Gracie's answer was pretty simple. You've been watching too many movies. You know, the movies where Rambo beats up 50, 60 guys at a time. Bruce Lee beats up 20, 30 guys at a time. You know, when the karate guy goes out there and beats up 15, 20 people, they all take a turn, he beats up one after the other. Why, in the movie Kill Bill, the good girl beat up hundreds of people at a time who had swords, knives, and even guns. But you know what? That ain't the way it works in the real world. And there's no sport that's made to beat up real people, 3 and 4 and 5 at a time, who know a lot about fighting, who are intent on whipping your ass. Let me give you a perfect example. Have you ever played paintball, you know, where you're shooting the guns at each other and all that stuff, and you decide you're going to run across the field? You will get hit with that paint gun 50 to 100 times. It's like trying to duck a water hose, folks. Soldiers do not duck machine guns. Rambo is the only person in the world that can duck 20 guys with machine guns who are shooting him. He's getting out of the way and pops him off one at a time with a .45. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in a real fight. Yeah, you might be able to, if you're really, really a great fighter, beat up 2 or 3 guys in the street at one time who don't know anything or who are drunk. But if they do know something, like Master Grace said, well, suppose I put Brock Lesnar, George St. Pierre, and BJ Penn all against your butt in the street. How would you do against them? Oh, well, well, put the karate on their ass. Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. Or suppose I put, you know, the world professional boxing champ, the world collegiate wrestling champion, and the world sambo champion, and put their asses against the kung fu master in the street. How do you think he'd do against them? Well, let me ask you, but next time someone tells you that Jiu Jitsu is not made for beating up people in the street, against people in the street, ask them, when was the last time that they personally used their karate or kung fu or Jiu Jitsu in the street to beat up 2, 3, 4, 5 people who knew a hell of a lot about fighting and were trying to kick their ass? No martial arts is made to beat up 20, 30 people in the street. There are no timeouts. There is no break in a street fight against 5, 10, 15, 20 people. You're not going to beat them, folks. I don't care whether Jiu Jitsu, karate, kung fu, or poo-poo. It's not going to happen.